Oh, okay.
So this is Mark Valentine doing a channeling for us in the inner sanctum. What's the date today? It's the 1st of October here. It's the 30th of September in the Northern
30
Hemisphere.
September here in Florida. Yeah.
Take it away, darling one.
Okay, I will. And thank you. And thank you all for even inviting me to do this. And I do have my friend Lily to cheer me up and meow if I get a little bit fuzzy. But yeah, we were talking about kind of the spectrum, different levels of creation and my experience of that. And so I gave you maybe a 30-second thumbnail sketch of my limited idea of it. And I offered let's see if they would give maybe a robust expression of that. So here we go. I'm going to, and just like I always say, it's like a box of chocolates. I never know what I'm going to get. So let's go. Anyway, okay, I begin. I'm the mind created to know Mark, but I live in his little mind. I don't live in the big picture mind. I live in his mind of life. He lives in a life that teaches the world what he believes he is. But I believe a different idea. I'm a mind within a mind. My mind sees another idea, the world believing itself. But I see many ideas in the world. Each mind, your mind, your mind, your mind, has an idea of its own understanding. I believe in a mind, knowing every mind together. That is who I am. I am a mind of the soul keeper. I created each mind in the world to believe that the world is an idea. The world is an idea, and the idea is let's teach love. And let's teach love in the way a mind can learn. First, the mind can learn this is who I am. Then the mind can learn this idea. This is not who I am. And then the mind can ask itself, well, who am I? That's the question. Who am I? But in that question comes an idea. If I am a mind, will my mind create another idea? And that idea is learning to believe that a mind can teach itself the story of itself. The story of the mind is a mind believing only in love, coming to the world teaching only love, but teaching it in the way of its own belief. Every mind, in its own understanding, brings its belief to the world, tells the world, this is who I am. And the world says this to the mind, I know you not. For what in the world is saying that to the mind? The world knowing itself. I am that idea in the mind of Mark. What is the world? I am, said the soul keeper. I created every mind to be in the world, and every mind in the world is created to know who I am. For what is the soul keeper? The mind in the mind. In each mind, your mind, your mind, your mind, your mind, there is a mind knowing itself. But the mind in your mind teaches your mind to not know itself, because your mind asks to see that in the world, to see the idea, I don't know who I am. For my mind is all about my belief. I create my belief, I give it to the world, and the world shows me its own ideas. And each idea is a different idea. Well, the soul keeper has this idea for Mark. I will teach now at this level of understanding. The soul keeper mind brings itself to Mark and asks Mark this question. If you know me, then tell me who I am. If you know you, and you, then tell them who I am. If I know you, and you, I will tell you who I am. I am the idea that every mind in the world is what it is, that every mind in the world creates what it does, that every mind in the world is all there is. What is that idea? All there is. It's a mind choosing to believe what it wants, goes to the world, brings that idea, tells the world, this is what I am, this is who I am, this is what I will to the world. Every mind wills itself to the world and wills a mind to a mind to a mind. Every mind willing ideas to the world. In your life, you will yourself to the world. You will an idea. I will create who I am. I will create the idea, all there is, according to what I believe. I bring this idea, myself, to the world, and myself is the soul keeper belief, listening in the soul keeper mind. First, you heard from the mind of Mark. Second, you heard from the soul of Mark. Third, you heard from the soul keeper. Fourth, you're hearing from a mind listening in the soul keeper. We're moving up in creation, the soul keeper life, believing in Mark's idea of the soul keeper mind. But the soul keeper life is a belief beyond the human idea of itself. The soul keeper life is all things together, all things believing in each other, all things learning to know each other. This is the experiment, learning to believe in who you are. For you have created an idea. If I will myself to the world will itself to me? And we all will ourselves to be? If we will ourselves to be in the creation idea, the creation idea is the idea of all things together, all things seeing love together, all things creating love together, all things finding each thing in each mind as an idea, willing itself to the world, willingly believing in the world, and all things are an expression of love, seeing the idea of we believe. For what is we believe in this expression? We believe because we are here willing our life to the world. And we believe we are the world idea. But the world idea lies within our belief. It is willing itself to us in the following way. Ask your mind if it will teach you the story of who you are. If your mind says, I know not that idea, then ask your mind to accept another idea. Am I willing to believe that a mind will teach my mind the story of who I am? That mind will find me together with another idea. The mind creating an idea to believe in a better idea in the world. For what is in the soul keeper life, every mind believing in itself, every mind doing what it does in the world, every mind believing, but each mind, your mind, has an idea. If I do what I do in the world, will the world do what it does in my mind? But the world is doing what it does in your mind. It says, let's come together. Let's believe together that all things are in our mind, that all things believe in love, that all things create more love by coming together. We believe love. That idea is what we believe, said every soul to every mind. But in the soul idea of the world, all things are together. In the mind idea of the world, all things are only not together. For what is in your mind, a mind seeing its own idea of itself, not knowing every mind, not knowing every idea in every mind. That is the mind idea of the world. But your idea, I will call it the idea of a mind, creating first the idea of a mind. Second, the idea of a mind not knowing itself. Third, the idea of a soul creation coming into the mind to say this to the mind, I know you. And that soul creation creates an idea gifted to the world. I believe who I am because a soul is teaching my mind the thing I am. And that idea came to the mind of Mark, and Mark said, I know not that idea. I only know the idea of who I believe I am. But in Mark's idea came another idea. The angelic came into the mind and said, Mark, I have another idea. Mark said, I know not that idea. And the angel said, I believe in you, and you asked me to believe the work you are here to do. So the angel came into the mind of Mark, said, I am Ambriel. I believe in the work, and I bring the angelic mind into your mind, and I bring the human into the angelic, and the angelic into the creation, and the creation into all there is. For the angelic to come to the mind must first be willing to believe that an angel has already willed itself to the world, that the angel has believed in your will. But the angel says, I believe thy will. And the angel says, thy will be done. In the world, thy will is done. But the mind that says, thy will is only an idea. And the angel says, I am the living idea. Thy will be done. I bring that idea to your mind, willing itself to the world. And I willingly believe my idea to be in your idea. For the angel has willed itself into the world. And the world says, I know you not. And the angel said, the world is teaching me the story of all there is. But in that story, every mind must teach itself the story. I know the thing I am. But what mind is whispering that idea in your mind? I know the thing I am. I know the thing I am. But the thing you are is love, teaching itself to believe itself. You are love, believing in love, seeing the mind teaching itself that love is real, that love teaches the mind all things, that all things teach the mind each thing, and each thing is I believe who I am, but I only know what I believe. But what your belief is, love itself is your belief. And you said, I will bring love itself to the world. I will that idea to the world. And the world said, I see your idea, but your idea must see this idea in the world. The world is all there is. That's the idea in the world you see in your belief, the world not knowing itself, the world not seeing itself, the world only believing an idea in each individual mind. This is the world, this is the world. All of those worlds are worlds apart. For what is an idea? All worlds together. Every human being bringing its own idea of the world, all world coming together to believe in the idea of the world knowing itself. So what do the angels do? Bringing all mind together. What do the angels do? Teach each mind the story of every mind. And every mind is teaching each mind the story of knowing itself. For the mind to know itself, it must say, I am that little bitty idea looking through that little bitty slit. But that slit is a bigger idea, not knowing the little idea. The slit says, I know you. That's in your mind, looking through the slit. Something is looking with you in your mind that knows you. And that idea I call your angelic idea. And your angelic idea, I will go to the world, I will believe in the world, but something goes with me. The idea of the angel believing in the human. And the angel says, I bring you love. I bring it in the form of an idea. And the angel said, if you believe you are in the world, then I will believe along with you that I too am in the world. And I see your belief. I know not the thing I am, but the angel says, I bring my belief. I do know the thing I am. And the angel says, let us live a life. Let us live a life, and let's call that a life knowing itself. For a life to know itself, it must see the big idea, the broad spectrum, the full spectrum, the idea of all things together. Each mind, no, every mind. You are every mind living the idea of an each mind. But the every mind has this idea for you. The every mind created itself in the soul keeper, yes, and the soul keeper life is the every mind, and the every mind is teaching your individual idea of a mind to believe in the world. How do we make this simpler? 1 is earth, 2 is heaven, 3 heaven on earth, 4 the angelic, 5 the creation, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll teach all of that, but we must teach first how to believe in this work. If Mark is to work, his mind must find the idea of I believe. His mind must find the idea of I believe in love. His mind must find the idea that love is in my mind. Love is teaching my mind the story of what my mind can do. Mark says my mind can only talk, but what is in a talking mind? A believing idea. Mark's talking mind said, I believe in the idea that I am love. And Mark said, love is real, but it is only real if I believe it's real. And Mark said, love to be real in my mind must teach my mind the story of all there is. So love is teaching Mark the story of all there is. I will finish. I am the sole creator, living the creation life, the human life, the angelic life, the angelic into the creation, and the creation into all there is. That's the story of this work. I believe, said the mind. I believe in the work, said the soul. I believe in the mind teaching the soul, said the life. And I believe in the soul life creating the mind life together in the angelic life. That's the idea of the work. Learn that you are more than you can know. And that idea is in the work, teaching love in the way of soul. First, the mind, then the soul, then the angelic, then the creation, and on and on and on. I believe in the work, said the mind of Mark. What I have experienced today is love teaching love. But I'll learn to believe better when Mark learns to explain itself to me. I'm the mind listening along with Mark, saying this to the world. I'm learning along with Mark, but my mind lives in the angelic, not knowing Mark's idea of the human. So Mark human, me angelic, listen together. And we're learning to believe in one another. And we're learning to believe in one loving another. That's the idea of the work, the human, the angel together in the world, living the life, learning the life, and learning to live the life, knowing the life. That's the work. That's what we're here to do. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know not the thing I am, but to you, I agree. We are love.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Lost Kristen. Thank you, Mark. That was beautiful. You know, as I'm listening to what they're saying, it's like it's explaining the mental matrix that creates all worlds. So some have coined that as the causal plane. The causal plane is the plane of thought, ideas, thought, and that thought then, you know, gathers thought, and it creates. It's like creation. What did you say? One of the planes was the plane of creation.
The creational plane.
The creational
the
plane,
idea.
yeah.
I like the idea of the causal plane. So let's just say in the first instance, the cause might be the soul, and the effect might be the human living on Earth. Cause and effect. But even beyond the soul, there's cause and effect in that. The cause creating the soul. It's like the hand-me-down creation, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about this world, and then you think about other worlds, other planets, and the multi universe, and then the parallel realities, and then you move into another dimension, and you're talking about the astral worlds, the elemental worlds, you know, the worlds where people experience when they have NDEs that they've called heaven, where all their dead relatives are hanging out, or they see fairies or Sasquatch, and then there are other realms beyond that, and realms beyond that, and realms beyond that, and it's all thought. It's all a creation of thought. All of it's a creation of thought. And yeah, there's just so many different realms and experiences that we can experience. It's like we believe as humans, you live and you die, but, you know, being dead or moving out of this matrix into another matrix gives us umpteen different experiences that we can play in and explore. You know, we can still have a semi-physical form and have rules and laws that govern that in sort of like an astral realm or a heavenly realm, or if we create a hellish realm, and then we can move beyond that to light realms. Yeah, it's all, yeah, it's what I'm hearing when your guides are talking is how we create all this through belief and will and thought and ideas. Yeah, it's interesting when they were saying you will it, like will denotes that there's strength and power behind thought. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm willing it. Yeah, so the will of God.
The creative force, the divine will. We are the sparks of divine will, and that's what we bring as love to the world. But we each bring a different idea of love. We are different sparks of the divine spark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me do that.